Hello everyone, my name is Adugo and you are watching the African Tales channel by Adugo. Please, before we dive into today's video, kindly click on that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Now let's get into the story. Miriam and Jacob lived in Abuja, one of the big cities in Nigeria. One evening, Jacob came home while Miriam and their kids were in the living room watching a movie. He looked worried, like he had seen a ghost. "Kids, it's bedtime," Jacob said quickly. The children protested, but they knew better than to argue with their father when he used that tone. Miriam was puzzled. Jacob never sent the kids to bed this early. "Miriam, I need to talk to you," Jacob said, leading her into their bedroom. He looked so serious that Miriam's heart began to race. What was going on? Jacob knelt down, holding Miriam's hands tightly. "Miriam, I have something terrible to tell you," he started, his voice shaky. Miriam's heart pounded even harder. "What is it, Jacob?" she asked, her voice barely above the whisper. I made a terrible mistake," Jacob confessed. "I've been unfaithful. Rosemary is pregnant and now she's threatening to ruin our marriage unless I agree to send her abroad." Miriam's mouth fell open. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Jacob, her loving husband, had cheated on her. "I thought about it," Jacob continued, "but the cost, the money would be better spent on our family. Miriam, I am so sorry. Please forgive me." Miriam's mind was spinning. She knew Rosemary was lying. Jacob was medically impotent, but how could she reveal this truth without destroying everything? The children weren't Jacob's biological kids. These secrets could tear their family apart. Miriam decided to talk to her best friend, Jessica. Maybe she could help. The next day, she met Jessica at their favorite spot in the park. "Jessica, I need your advice," Miriam said, her voice trembling. She told Jessica everything, from Jacob's confession to the secret about the children. Jessica listened carefully, her face serious. "Miriam, this is a tough situation. You need to think about what's best for your family. Maybe you can find a way to talk to Rosemary. Make her understand without revealing Jacob's secret." "But what if she doesn't listen?" Miriam asked, feeling even more scared. "Then we have to come up with a plan," Jessica said firmly. "You have to protect your family, Miriam." As the days passed, Miriam and Jessica tried to think of a way out. Miriam couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. She was terrified that everything she had built with Jacob could come crashing down. One evening, as Miriam was putting the kids to bed, she heard a knock on the door. Her heart skipped a beat. It was Rosemary. She looked smug, like she knew she held all the power. "I need to talk to Jacob," Rosemary said, pushing past Miriam into the house. Miriam felt a surge of anger. She couldn't let Rosemary destroy her family. "You can't just barge in here," Miriam said, her voice shaking with rage. "You need to leave." Rosemary smirked. "Or what? You'll tell Jacob's secrets? Go ahead. Let's see how that turns out for you." Miriam's blood ran cold. Rosemary knew. She knew about Jacob's condition. "How?" "I don't know what you're talking about," Miriam said, trying to sound confident. But inside, she was terrified. Rosemary laughed. "Oh, Miriam, you're such a good wife, protecting Jacob like that. But I know the truth. And if you don't do as I say, everyone will know." Miriam felt like she was drowning. She had to protect her family. But how? She needed a plan, and fast. The next day, Miriam met Jessica again. "Jessica, Rosemary knows," Miriam said, her voice shaking. "She knows about Jacob's condition." Jessica looked shocked. "How? Who could have told her?" "I don't know," Miriam said, feeling hopeless. "But we need to do something. I can't let her ruin everything." Jessica thought for a moment. Maybe we can turn the tables on her. Find something she wants even more than a trip abroad. Miriam nodded slowly. But what? What could be more important to her? "We will figure it out," Jessica said, determination in her eyes. "We will protect your family, Miriam, I promise." And so, the two friends began their plan to save Miriam's family. They had to be smart. They had to be careful. But most of all, they had to succeed. The future of Miriam's family depended on it. Miriam and Jessica's plan had to be foolproof. They spent days trying to figure out what could possibly make Rosemary back off. Miriam felt the weight of her secrets pressing down on her every moment. She couldn't let her family fall apart. One afternoon, as Miriam was cleaning up after lunch, she received a call from Jessica. "Miriam, I think I have an idea. Let's meet." Miriam hurried to their usual spot in the park. Jessica was already there, looking excited. "I did some digging," Jessica said. "Rosemary has been talking to a man named Kola. He's known for helping people with, let's say, questionable business deals." Miriam frowned. "What do you mean?" Jessica leaned in closer. "I mean, he might have the kind of information we need to turn the tables on Rosemary. If we can find out what she's really after, we can use it against her." Miriam's heart raced. This could be the break they needed. "How do we get to Kola?" Jessica smiled. "I have a cousin who knows him. I can set up a meeting." Miriam nodded, feeling a glimmer of hope for the first time in days. "Let's do this." A few days later, Miriam and Jessica met with Kola in a small, dimly lit restaurant. Kola was a tall, imposing man with a serious expression. "I hear you need some information," Kola said, getting straight to the point. Miriam took a deep breath. "Yes, we need to know what Rosemary is really after. She's threatening my family." Kola nodded thoughtfully. "Rosemary is ambitious. She's not just after a trip abroad. She wants power, connections. If you can offer her something that gives her more than what she thinks she can get from your husband, she might back off." Miriam's mind raced. What could they offer that would be more valuable to Rosemary than Jacob's money? Suddenly, an idea hit her. What if we offered her a position in a high-profile company? Miriam suggested. Something that gives her the status and connection she craves. Kola smiled. That could work, but you will need to make it convincing. Jessica chimed in. I know someone who can help with that. My uncle works in a big company and owes me a favor. We can make it look legitimate. Miriam felt a surge of hope. This could actually work. Let's do it. The next few days were a whirlwind. Jessica's uncle agreed to help, and they put together an offer that would be hard for Rosemary to refuse. Miriam was nervous, but she knew she had to stay strong for her family. Finally, the day came to confront Rosemary. Miriam and Jessica met her in a quiet cafe, away from prying eyes. "Rosemary, we need to talk," Miriam said, trying to keep her voice steady. Rosemary smirked. "What now, Miriam? More empty threats?" Miriam took a deep breath. "We know what you want, Rosemary, and we are prepared to offer you something better." Rosemary raised an eyebrow. "Oh, and what might that be?" Jessica handed Rosemary a folder. "A position in a high-profile company. It comes with a great salary, connections, and a chance to build the life you want. All we ask is that you leave Miriam's family alone." Rosemary's eyes widened as she looked through the documents. This is real?" Miriam nodded. "Yes, it's real. You can have everything you want without destroying my family." Rosemary seemed to consider it for a moment. Finally, she sighed. "Fine, I'll take the job, but if I find out this is a trick, you will regret it." Miriam nodded, relief flooding through her. "It's not a trick. Just leave us alone." As Rosemary left the cafe, Miriam felt a weight lift off her shoulders. They had done it. They had saved her family. But as she and Jessica walked back to the car, Miriam couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't over. Rosemary might have agreed to their terms, but she was still a threat. They had to stay vigilant, protect their secrets, and make sure their family stayed safe. Miriam knew this was just the beginning. She would do whatever it took to keep her family together, no matter what challenges lay ahead. The next few weeks were a mix of relief and tension. Miriam was grateful that Rosemary had accepted their offer, but she couldn't shake the feeling of unease. She knew that Rosemary was unpredictable and could still cause trouble. One evening, as Miriam was preparing dinner, Jacob walked into the kitchen. He looked much better than he had in weeks, the stress lines on his face slowly fading. "Miriam, I don't know how to thank you," he said, wrapping his arms around her. "I don't know what you did, but things seem to be getting better." Miriam smiled, hiding her inner turmoil. "We are a team, Jacob. We handle everything together." Just as she was about to put the finishing touches on dinner, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Jessica. "Urgent. Need to meet. Pack. Now." Miriam's heart skipped a beat. She quickly finished up in the kitchen and made an excuse to Jacob, saying she needed to run an errand. In the park, Jessica was pacing nervously. "Miriam, we have a problem," she said as soon as she saw her friend. "What happened?" Miriam asked, her heart pounding. "Rosemary is stirring up trouble again. She got the job, but now she's using her position to dig up dirt on Jacob. She wants more than just the job. She's still looking for leverage." Miriam felt a wave of anger and fear. "Why can't she just leave us alone?" Jessica shook her head. "She's ambitious, Miriam. She won't stop until she gets everything she wants. We need to find a way to neutralize her for good." Miriam thought for a moment. Maybe we can use her own ambition against her. What if we make her think there is a bigger opportunity somewhere far away? Something that will keep her occupied and out of our lives. Jessica nodded slowly. That could work. But how do we make it convincing? Miriam's mind raced. We could create a fake job offer. Something that looks even better than what she has now. If she thinks she has a chance to get something bigger, she will take it. Jessica smiled. That's brilliant. Let's do it. They spent the next few days crafting a perfect fake job offer. They made it look like it came from a prestigious international company with an impressive salary and perks. Miriam used all her creativity to make the offer irresistible. When they were ready, they arranged for Rosemary to accidentally find the offer. Miriam felt a mix of anxiety and hope as they waited to see what would happen. A week later, Rosemary contacted Miriam. "I don't know what you're playing at, but I've received an offer I can't refuse," she said, her voice dripping with suspicion. "I'll be leaving the country soon, but mark my words, if I find out you had anything to do with this, you will regret it." Miriam felt a wave of relief mixed with dread. "Good luck, Rosemary. I hope you find what you're looking for." As Rosemary left, Miriam allowed herself to breathe a little easier. They had managed to buy some time, but the threat was still there, lurking in the shadows.